Shalom. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem. Recha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostle, elders, a great millstone, peace, blessings. Salutations to all for the elect, to Brother Isaiah. Back with another lesson to the spirit and power beyond Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem. Recha HaKodash, Lord, will us lesson satisfied. As a response, wasn't able to hold camp today due to some complications with my vehicle, among other things. So it's a lot for that. But was just kind of listening to some lessons here, and there was a few different things going on. Gary, Indiana is still without power. Okay. And I believe there's another state that's now also without power, even though, much like the Gary, Indiana crises, there's not much coverage on this other state that doesn't have power. I couldn't even find it. Like, I saw it. I saw the link. And before I'll be having so many links, kind of like the elder Apostle Har, he be having a bunch of tabs open. I'll be having a lot of tabs open too. Well, so I guess I closed some stuff and I lost it. So I don't know what that other state is, but it just kind of every now and again we get these reminders, I know at least for me, of the things that are coming. Sometimes dealing with the people around you in your everyday life, because you get messed up. All right. Sometimes you can tend to forget, that things are coming to, things are gonna hit the fan, and none of this shit's gonna matter one day. All right, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, the elder Karatazaba out there in Baltimore, he always makes these lessons that tend to get me going. You got this dude, I don't even know if I want to play it because he keeps using the name Yahusha, and these other names come with another spirit. All right. Whenever I hear somebody say Yahuwah and Yahusha, they be these over righteous, holier than thou, looking down on the camps, looking down on anybody who, on the true doctrine. They look down on it. All right. And, he's kind of I had to pause the video because you get the Yahusha, and it's always about saving the heathen. Here it is. We're on the brink of World War III. Okay. We're getting deeper into Jacob's trouble because we got to remember, first it started with the Northern Kingdom and ICE. Okay. Where a bunch of Northern Kingdom was being deported. And, we haven't been hearing much about it, but I mean, I don't think they would have stopped, you know what I'm saying? Like doing what they was doing. I mean, I do see a lot of Northern tribes, in certain areas still kind of, I don't know if I want to say thriving, but, doing their thing. Issachar is being Issachar and the other tribes are being the other tribes. And people are waxing worse and worse, like, I mean, it's all type of things to report on, some of higher importance than others. And you got Jake, still trying to save Esau, man. Talking about the other fold and the other sons, and why do and they call out Yabashim Yahushai, for the ability to discern, the truth from a lie, because everybody's in their lot that the Lord put them in. Okay, this guy believes what he believes because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai have allowed him to be deceived, to sit up here and call him a false name, and to sit up here and read a scripture and develop in his mind and be confident in a false interpretation. Okay, that's the real kicker about it. Not only do these people have a false interpretation, they're confident, okay, in these false interpretations. So I'm gonna play some of it. I'm gonna rewind it. It's a lot.
All black people.
Rewind it.
All black people.
It's a lot.
There are certain people out there that are saying that all black people are the true Israelites. All black people are the true Hebrews. I'm not going to go there yet. John 10:16 debunks that. Yeah, this is Yahushua speaking out of his own mouth.
So do you kind of get, this arrogance, this confidence of this is Yahushua. Yahushua speaking here, which that's the false name they have for who the world England calls Jesus Christ, whose name we believe through the faith in the Paleo Hebrew is yahush-ites. Okay. And I mean, you could just listen to the guy, man. He think he found something. You know how the scriptures say the kingdom is like a man that stumbleth unto it, come into a field and findeth gold, and he selleth all that he have and he buyeth that field. You would think this brother found gold. He's so happy to in his mind debunk, okay, the One West doctrine. So let's call it One West doctrine, right? Even though it's just the truth, and not all One West groups have the truth. But generally speaking, we kind of agree on certain things, about the captivity of the nations and things of that sort, right? So he thinks he's got it. He scored one for the yahush-ites, right? But he's incorrect.
He said, other sheep, stop.
And this is the same thing. This is the same move we saw the big head Ethiopian nigga come out and do, right? See, that's the 12. But that's just scattered. No, you're falsely interpreting things.
I have a son.
Now, you see what I'm saying? Why is he saying what he got a son? What they got to do with anything?
I don't have other sons.
You see the look on his eyes got big. Why you got your finger on your chin? And these are just the certain effeminate things that we learn here in Babylon. All right, got his finger on his chin like he done made something profound. But the scriptures say sons and daughters. I'm doing a lesson. I'll be in there in like another 15 minutes. You gonna be downstairs? You gonna be downstairs in like 15 minutes? All right. Send me a text. Oh, all right. As you can see, it says, Salaki, and I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith Yahweh Almighty, or the Lord Almighty. So he's sons and daughters, you see. So I understand the point he's trying to make.
Why would I say other sons I have? I don't.
Just because you don't.
I have a son. I don't have other sons. So either Yahushua is incredibly illiterate, or he lacked knowledge, or he just can't talk, or he misspoke in John 10:16. He said other sheep. Oh, okay. You people that believe all black people, I'm getting passionate.
It's black, Latinos, and Native Americans. Which there are some groups out there that believe, that subscribe to all so-called black, which that's not the truth. All right. But, there's members of a fold. It's like you got the prodigal son, right? It's like you got the prodigal son. When you get into the parable of the prodigal son, I believe that's what it is, where it says, well, how can I put it? Yeah. The parable that's given in the prodigal son is the parable of the sheep. Let me see if I can get the parable of the sheep in regards to the prodigal son. Hey, we're entering into some beautiful and scary times. Okay, Luke 15. Let me make sure. Lost state. Both the wandering sheep in Luke 15:4 and the younger son in Luke 15:13 foolishly left safety, got lost, and faced mortal danger. Okay, the scattered tribes of Israel. This is what they went through. Okay, all right. The shepherd leaves the 99 sheep to find the one lost animal. Right. So there are those that have already been, that are already a part of the quote unquote, let's say, circumcision, already a part, but then the Lord shall gather his elect from the four winds. Okay. But that's not talking about no damn heathens, man. These people, that's always,
Sorry, but you people that believe all black.
yeah. Anyway, he's going off. You know, this is just hopefully one of many lessons I may do tonight, but you know, this guy, man, he's through. People like him are through. You know, these yahush-ites, yahush-ites, whatever you want to, call them. They think they be winning. They don't be winning. You know. But here it is, even towards the end, even as we get closer to deliverance, because I had not a vision, but like a, as the Elder Apostle Gabar usually says, or has said a lot in the past, you got to be able to visualize these things, and I could just picture in my mind, like, with everything that I'm like putting everything together, I'm like seeing other people's situations around me where they're being separated from people around them, and it's been systematic, like, and just demons just hopping on people, and they're just doing shit, saying shit, crashing out, burning bridges amongst family. And I'm like, the Lord's doing a separation, because you don't want an individual that you can't trust around you in the times that are coming. I literally heard stories of, people's family members talking about they gonna call the police on them, and shit like this. And it's like, damn, you don't want you don't want that shit around you, man. With what's coming, because Esau, he'll offer up money for you to rat on the individual. I got money for you. Tell me where they at. And you don't want an individual around you that'll take the money and give you up. That's the last thing you want. So I don't know. I just want to kind of do this quick response. I'm gonna try to do another lesson here, on something else, man. There's other topics of more importance, but hey, as we can clearly see it, the scriptures say evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. What does it say? Deceived and being deceived. I always spell this shit wrong. Them EIVE words. 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And hey, it's like one last hurrah, which, not to say that I know when things is gonna happen, obviously, but the signs are there. Obviously, we're waiting on the MOTB, but there's a lot of things being implemented. You got these flock cameras being set up. They call FLOCK, I think, cameras, and they're like supposedly catching people in certain acts of criminal. But meanwhile, they're making errors. But this ain't nothing but the MOTB system, the marketed B system being like pushed, and that's gonna be used to help that system, man. The system of monitoring and control, they're gonna use cameras. Once the technology, they working on I think they're working on a new G technology. What we got, like, I think they're working on 6G. Let's see, 6G. Yeah, see. Yeah, well, they say around 2030. Which, Lord willing, we out of here before then. That's only 4 years, but still, with everything that's happening with Nero, look, as the scriptures say, the devil have coming down as a roaring lion, for he have but a short time. Okay, these devils know they don't got much time, so they're gonna push, right? Gonna make a big push towards certain things, man. So that's it for this lesson, man. Lord willing, you be edified. Shalom.